Hello, Miss Audrey here. I'm in my backyard and I'm here to show you how to take your chalk art to the next level. So as you can see, I have been working on a chalk mural. So it kind of represents my time at home. I've gotten a lot of joy out of nature, and Rosalind has been enjoying hanging out with me. She really loves blueberries and tomatoes, which we're growing in the garden. Music has been a big part of our time at home. So some of these things just really represent that to me. And I'm gonna show you how did I make it look like this. Okay, so if you will bear with me, I'm gonna set you up here, kind of show you what I do. Okay, so how did I blend my colors like this bird here? So I'm gonna show you what I do with that. All right, so all you need is some sidewalk chalk and a little bit of water, which I have a tub right here of some water. I like to have something big so that I'm not worried about it spilling and washing away my artwork. I have a really big brush. It was an old brush we used to paint our house, so I'm not worried about the bristles getting a little worn, because the more that you scrub on concrete, the more worn out your brush is going to be. So pick an old brush. I have an old kind of chubby paintbrush too, so these have been some great tools. But what if you don't have an old brush that your parents are willing to let you use for this project? I actually made a tool for this. So I just took a stick from my backyard. I took a baby washcloth, an old one, and then I took a rubber band. And so I can make this a little bigger if I want it to be bigger. I can tighten it up at the end to give it a fine tip. Or you could do this with string if you don't have a rubber band. Okay, so you can make a brush for yourself at home. Now, I am just gonna draw a simple shape. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I'm gonna draw it so that you can see. Just drawing a heart, nothing fancy, but I'm gonna make it fancier. So I could use multiple colors to do this if I want, to blend colors. Or I could keep it one color, that's whatever you wanna do. Let's get a little purple. Okay, and then all I do is dip my brush, just like watercolor. The more that you scrub, the lighter your color's going to become. If you don't want to wash your color away too much, don't scrub too much. And just like watercolor, in between my colors, if I don't want to blend and have everything become one color at the end, I'm gonna wash my brush out between. Okay, and the more water that you add, the more it's going to blend. The less water you add, or the less scrubbing you do, the less it's going to blend. Okay, so just adding a little bit of water is going to give a watercolor effect to your chalk artwork. Okay, and depending on the weather, the day that you do this, it's going to affect your evaporation rate. So evaporation, so that's when the water is lifting off, it's drying off. And so if it's a overcast, cloudy day, then it might cause your evaporation to be slower. If it's a really hot, sunny day and you're right in direct sun, it's going to cause your evaporation rate to be much quicker. So keep that in mind. And also, if you are wanting to make something that's going to last a while, check your weather forecast. If it's going to rain tomorrow or today, then your art is not going to last as long. So keep that in mind when you're working. So I'm going to let this evaporate and we'll come back to it. So right over here, you see I did this with Rosalind. We created a butterfly here. And we got these little spots after everything evaporated. We did a little bit of art on top of our drawing. So if you want anything to stand out, such as these blueberries, I was keeping in mind that blueberries are a three-dimensional form, a 3D shape. So they're spheres. So to create this look, I added a dark value on this side, and I kept it the same with this blueberry. I added a light value on this side, so here's my light source from this side. And then after everything dried and evaporated, then the water evaporated, I came back and I added a little bit of chalk on top to give it a little pop, and that would be a highlight. So when you have a little bright area, that is a highlight, so you can create highlights. So again, I did some of this kind of thinking about value and light source with this flower. And on one side it's lighter, on the other side there's some darkness. I did the blending effect as well. After everything dried and the water had evaporated, I came back and I added some darker areas to create those shadows. Okay, I really just did a line for each part of the rainbow, and I didn't do the whole thing. You don't have to even cover a large area. You can do that with blending with your water, okay? All right, so we're starting to have some evaporation over here. Everything's drying out and it's looking nice. I could go back and blend more if I don't like the look of this, or I could add something on top to give it a little bit of a bright area here and there. If you want to layer your work, that's the way to do it. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'm excited to see your creations. Have a great one.